we could talk because I know Altucher joined. Hold on. I have to wait for him to go with me.
Am I Tony Woods?
Hey man,
Am
you
I
good?
the right Tony Woods?
You're the wrong color for starters. I'll tell you that. I'm trying to contact him, but can't use my phone to contact him. And I was people know, dude. Go on.
I could do Tony Woods jokes.
Can ya?
Yeah, it's like, you know,
Well,
I was going to Canada. I was going to Portugal. They asked me if I would go to Portugal, and I said, sure, I'd go to South America. And then we went to this one city, and let me tell you, it was all lesbians.
where?
That's right, it was all lesbians. It was Lisbon. You know what I'm saying? It was Lisbon.
My man, trying to tell you which jokes are true. Altucher, tell him about yourself. Tell him where you started the comedy, and tell him about yourself. Because have you frozen on me? God damn. No, okay, go. Tell him where you've come from.
So Peter, I was a writer and an entrepreneur, and I worked at a long time ago. I worked at HBO, and I worked in their comedy department. I was going to all the clubs. I knew all the comedians, but I was scared to death of doing what you do, which is go on stage and do stand-up. Scared to death. And so finally, 5 or 6 years ago, I had an opportunity. I got on stage. I was horrible, and but I got obsessed. I started going 10 to 15 shows a week, just going on stage. I bought a comedy club. I started traveling around. You and I met in the Netherlands. We were performing right before the lockdown, right before everybody in the Netherlands died from coronavirus. We were there, and you know, it's been a great journey.
It's been a great journey for you, yeah?
Yeah.
My journey started. When did you actually start comedy then? Was you always, like you said, you worked with the HBO and all that stuff there, but when did you really get that inspiration to like be a comedian?
2015. Oh, 2015. I
2015.
started.
2015. Yeah. And how's it going for you at the moment?
Well, right now, and probably the same for you, because of this lockdown, you can't get on stage and do comedy. But I would say that it's forced me in my podcast and in these Instagram lives. I try to write material. I try to make the other people laugh, even in a podcast or an IG live, just to keep that muscle going. How about you? How are you keeping the stand-up muscle going?
Well, keeping the stand-up muscle is quite hard because you're writing and you're telling jokes to yourself and you're laughing at yourself jokes, but there's no audience, so you think it's funny. It's a bit like when you smoke weed and you write a joke and well, I don't smoke weed, but I'm saying to you, it's a bit like you smoke and you write a joke.
Questions. This is Peter.
I'm using my phone to do this, and people are following me on my phone. This is what I said, exactly what they'll do. They start following me on my phone. And
Peter, I'm introducing you. Some people on this might come on because I'm like, this is Peter Francis, world famous stand-up comedian. I'm joining his IG live from where he's in London, and he's sharing his experiences. And this is Peter. This is your live, but some of my friends are on this live, so I just wanted to introduce you.
No problem, sir. No problem, man. Hello to everybody who doesn't know me. I'm a UK comic, and I told the world, to tell the truth, doing comedy all over the bloody world. I started when I was a young boy, really young, and I've always been into making people laugh. I weren't the class idiot, right? Because I've got a brain behind me, but I was the joker in the class. You see what I mean? Yeah. Always trying to make people laugh. How I started into comedy is I started writing for other comedians. And one of my mutual friends says to me, you know what, you should go and do this yourself. And he said he's going to give me 5 minutes. You know how you start with the 5 minutes material. And when you first start, 5 minutes seems like an hour. And that whole journey of that 5 minutes just to get up to 5 minutes, it gave me 2 months to prepare to do 5 minutes of material. And I when I say shit myself, I mean properly shit myself for the whole duration from the time he told me to do the 5 minutes up until the 2 months that I did the show. I was me in the toilets with best friend. I lost so much weight and everything. And I did the show. Yeah, and I did the show, and it was a great show. And I thought, I've got this. Do you know what I mean? Did the next show, and no one
Yeah,
laughed.
well, you know, I want to add to that though. The very first time I did 5 minutes, the very first time I was on stage, I was so scared. I thought I was going to have a heart attack because, you know, it was very important. It was very important to me. Like I
Yeah,
cared
yeah.
about it. And you know,
People,
but let me ask you this. Do you find it harder? Sometimes I find it easier to do 60 minutes than 5 minutes.
yes, because the 5 minutes now you have to try and cram and get people to love you within 5 minutes, and that's very difficult. So when you start expanding your set, then you get people to warm towards you, and it's more easier that way. Because like sometimes, like if a club owner hasn't seen me for the first time and he says, "All right, come down and do a 5 minute set," that is so much more difficult than me doing a 20 or 30 minute set because I'm trying to
Yeah.
impress you within 5 minutes, and that's people don't know this. People don't know this, and that is very, very difficult. Stand-up comedy is one of the hardest art forms out there, but I don't think it gets that much accolade as opposed to a singer or musician. But stand-up
Well,
comedy is very hard.
like Peter, I agree. Like I am a ranked. Oh, you know this, but
Yeah.
I'm a
They
ranked.
they don't know this though, but I know this.
But I'm a ranked chess master. I'm a software guy. I've
Ah,
been an investor, and I will say comedy is the heart by far. And I'm a professional writer. I've written 20 books. Comedy is by far the hardest skill I've ever had to learn. I'm just beginning, and I'm already in this 5 years and thousands of hours.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But what's some of the places that you've been that you really like apart from obviously, Altucher comes from the USA. What part of USA do you come from?
New York City. So
He's
and there's a lot of
from
great comedy scene in New York City.
Yeah, you're in the heart of it, man. That's where comedy is learned in the New York City, mate. And
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because tourists are hard. And like the New York City audience is not. They will not let you get away with anything.
that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been to New York. I've done comedy in New York. I've done in the States. I've been to Washington, New York, LA, and Washington, New York, LA, and we just come. Well, that was it, really. Washington, New York, and LA. That's why
Where'd you perform in New York?
in New York. Where was we? Where was it? Comedy Store, and we just came from New York. The club on the main road. Yeah, 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 yeah. I've even got a picture of it.
Comedy Cellar, maybe Greenwich Village
No,
Comedy Club, Grizzly Pear.
no, no, no. It's a famous one. That's just hit my mind, but it will come back in a minute.
Fat Black Pussycat.
No, keep going. You're naming all the
Uh,
clubs. It's a
Village
famous one.
Underground.
No,
Village Underground.
no.
The Stand. Comic
The
Strip Live.
Stand. Okay, the
Kings of
Stand.
Fields.
The Stand. You what? Have you done all the clubs, man?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
have done the Comedy Cellar, but I've done all
yeah,
the other
yeah.
ones.
So yeah, so the Stand as well. Yeah, so the Stand, and yeah, I
Stand Up
did
New
that.
York.
I didn't do Stand Up New York. Stand Up New York. That's you.
That's me.
Is it?
Why did
That's
you come
you.
to
Yeah,
Stand Up New
Stand Up.
York?
No, no. I'm gonna do Stand Up New York through you. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna come back
Yeah.
there next year when the virus is all over, and I'm gonna come over there and do Stand Up New York. That's you.
Hopefully we won't be out
You
of
know?
business.
Huh?
Hopefully we won't be out of business.
What's actually Jesus Christ? Yeah, what's happening with the club then? Why is the
Well,
virus is
I
hit?
mean, everything is obviously closed, and so the question is, I mean, you know this. Every comedy club kind of survives month to month. You don't
Yeah,
really. It's not like you save up money or it's not a good investment. A comedy club, and so the question is, even in London, like I've performed at the Comedy Store in London. I don't know, like, will people be so eager to go out?
he's frozen on me.
Will people be so eager to go out to comedy as soon as this is uh, over? You know, you're gonna be wearing
Yeah,
masks and getting
yeah,
watered down liquor, and
yeah.
the comedians wearing a mask. It doesn't sound like a fun
Yeah,
date.
yeah, yeah. It doesn't sound like a fun gig, does it? I mean, when I come, hold on. My first show is supposed to be September the 17th. Whether that goes ahead or not, I don't know. Yeah. And it's also a limited audience, and the audience are going to be separated. In other words, you have one person sitting here and another person sitting about 2 meters away from them. And that's not comedy because comedy is a collective thing where
Yeah,
you bounce off each other, and it's I don't think that's going to work, man. It's going to make our life really hard, and we're going to have to really work hard to make people
right.
laugh. Do you know what I
I don't
mean?
think
So it's
people understand. I don't think people
the
understand
dynamics.
how important architecture is
Yeah,
to comedy, because you need ceilings that are not so high so the laughter could bounce down quickly so that you get that viral laughter. And you need people sitting next to each other so that the laughter goes viral.
It's contagious. Yeah. That's people don't understand comedy, man. I've been doing this for 20 years this year. 20 years.
20 years, wow.
Yeah, that's a long time. And I've been quite a lot of places as well, apart from the UK.
Where's your favorite place?
My favorite place is Holland, where I met you. The reason I think for some reason in Holland, they tend to take, you can say what you want to say in Holland, rather than in the UK, everything's gone politically correct. And you can't really say what you really want to say because there's bound to be someone in the audience and they just don't like you all of a sudden because of something you just said. And I find that irritable. You know, everything's gone politically correct. I don't know what it's like in the States. I don't know how you're open.
In New York City, it's very politically correct. But when I perform like in the middle of the country, I can go on both sides and people are cool with it. So like when I performed in Cincinnati or Denver or Dallas, it's all fine.
Okay.
But you know, in Holland, I had a great time in Rotterdam. I don't know if you weren't there for that show. That was like great. It was like a packed house. It was a comedy club. The one show we went to in that one Sval or whatever it was, that place was awful. Like I really didn't like vibe with it at all.
Yeah. And there was hardly anyone there.
Yeah, and it was like a weird. You were giving me the advice. It was like going straight up, so I had to kind of like look up more.
Voice projection. That's what it was. Yeah, there was hardly anyone there. I'm trying to. I don't know what it is for you right now, but I don't know how. I don't know what your next. When's your next show?
Well, I think so. Tony Woods and I think, are going to do Winnipeg in October, Winnipeg, Canada. But I want to do the Palm Beach Improv and I want to do the DC Improv. So I'll probably figure out how to arrange that.
Okay.
And then once New York City opens up, I can always do here. But I think I'm going to start spending time in the South. So I want to get more familiar with some clubs down there.
What about coming over to the UK again?
Oh yeah, I would do that. You got it, but you know I'm afraid of being travel banned or something or quarantined.
Travel ban? No, I'm sure they will open up everything over here. Well,
comedians are essential.
Yeah, of course. For this entertainment, people need. After this is over, people's going to need a laugh. Definitely going to need a laugh because there's some miserable people out there, and there's going to be lots of breakups. There's going to be lots of divorces. Also, there's going to be a lot of babies being born. Watch out for me, and mark my words. In December and January, there's going to be an influx of children because people are so bored. There's only going to do one thing, son, and that's
there's going to be there's going to be a lot of children. There's going to be a lot of divorces. Do you know? And there's also a global condom shortage. So the main factory that makes condoms is in Malaysia, and it's been locked down. So there are 500 million condoms less in the world right now. And 1 out of 4 people using dating sites are cheating on their spouses during social distancing.
That's right. Yeah. So that's going to
be a lot of divorces.
There are going to be a lot of divorces, man. But also that means that single people have got real good opportunities now to grasp onto certain things that they couldn't have got before. There's also going to be a lot of, you know what? When the clubs open, there's going to be a lot of desperate, dare I say, men and women. It's going to be, the clinics, they're going to have to prepare for some diseases and illnesses, babe, because I'll tell you what, people are going to go mad out there.
But Pierre, let me ask you a question. Like, I feel like old material now, there's BC and AC, before coronavirus and after coronavirus. And a lot of BC material just won't fly anymore. Like, how are you thinking about material right now?
I don't write for the time. In other words, I don't actually write. The coronavirus is on at the moment. And I would write, I don't write one-hit wonder jokes. My jokes have longevity. So if I write about the coronavirus, obviously I've got jokes about coronavirus, but I don't make it my be and all. In other words, I won't write a whole 5-minute sketch on the coronavirus because it's going to be a passing phase type thing. So I'd write and include it in the material and then write other things around it, so it'll probably come into a health issue or, do you remember when we had coronavirus? That type of thing, rather than writing a big script on coronavirus. because every
I feel like
comedian's going to be
I
different.
feel it has to be addressed though. Like your part,
Most,
it seems
most
like
definitely.
part of your persona is your charm, and
Yeah,
it has to be addressed when you first encounter the audience. Like,
most definitely.
can you believe what just happened, sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
A
yeah,
funny
yeah,
thing
yeah.
happened to me on my way to the club. I got quarantined for 70 days.
But the thing is, I know I don't believe in the coronavirus because I know my ex got it and she's still alive. So what I'm saying to you is that I don't believe it works at all. Um, what's your feelings on the actual virus itself? Do you think it's man-made? Do you think it's there's an illness out there? These conspiracy theories about 5G. What do you think about that type of thing?
I think I tend to, well, it's definitely not related to 5G, that for a fact. I think it was being experimented with. It was a real virus that they had isolated, and to the point where they were able to transmit it to humans, and then it accidentally got out of the lab because they were idiots, and it got
Mm.
into the wet market across the street where all the bats were, and then just it
Well, the
got
bat.
everybody got infected from there.
So you believe it comes from bats? I don't believe that at all.
I don't think they genetically made it, but I think they were mutating it to the point where it will seem natural. So it does. So you
Yeah,
can't look at it and say this was man-made, but they
yeah.
mutated it so it would seem natural, and then they accidentally unleashed it before its time.
Right, 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 right. Your president is going a bit loopy over there, isn't he? He's
Yeah,
telling people to take
he's like just
detergent.
popping pills and bleach and whatever
My
it
man,
takes.
my man is telling people to take detergent. Then the next minute he says he's taking this tablet that was used for something else, and he said, "Yeah, I take it, I take it." But I think behind the scenes that he knows there's something that's not right with this because he's mentioned it a few times, and then they shut him up. Yeah,
Oh yeah, and
and
look, China, the United States owes China 1.2 trillion dollars. So he
just
could
just before,
position
just
that.
1 second, just before when I met this guy in Holland, this guy has so much factual information that he can blow your mind away, and you can sit and talk to him, right? And in 5 minutes, you're like, "Raw, how did he get all of this information?" But he will blow your anyway. Go on, Altucher, just carry on talking, carry on talking. Go on.
No, but the U.S. owes China 1.2 trillion dollars. So I bet you Trump is going to try to use these conspiracy ideas to make China forgive some of the debt, so we don't owe as much money.
Check him out. Yeah, that's what you think is going on. I think
Yeah,
there's
now
letters.
I think there's a subtle behind the scenes war happening right now that we're fighting over this debt.
Yeah, that's what I think is happening. I think there's a little war of who's got the most economical power. That's what I think is going on. The battle
Well,
between America and
and
China.
the interesting thing is, this is the scary thing, is that I didn't realize this until it happened. Nobody realized this. China was doing 100% of the manufacturing for the U.S. So the U.S. couldn't even get, like we know, toilet paper because China's factories were closed.
Hmm.
So China's in trouble because we're going to start manufacturing in India, Mexico, Malaysia. We're not going back to China. Everybody here hates China now. They don't hate Chinese, but they hate the government of China.
I think black people hate Chinese right now, son. I think they really do. I really think they do. You try and tell the Africans that they don't hate Chinese. Hey, you want to see what's happening over there, man. They're killing them for fun, son, because of what they're trying to say. They're going over to Africa and doing some tests on the people. Hell no, son.
Yeah, well, China's been buying up a lot of Africa is the thing. So, and a lot of African countries are now in debt to China. They used to be in debt to the U.S.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of it's a lot of things going on. I'm trying to get hold of Tony. I don't know where he is at the moment. I think he's probably sleeping.
That
You
could
know what
be.
I'm saying.
But
You
but
know what
tell
I'm
me
saying.
tell me more your process. Like when you're more of a storyteller, right? And
Yeah.
I've been moving in that direction because I always have these like stories, but it's a specific skill to tell a story and get to laugh every 15 seconds. Like what's
Yeah.
your process when you're putting together a story?
It's quite funny, because when I first started to doing comedy, I used to have this setup where I'm determined to make you laugh every 8 seconds, and that's not even by speaking fast or anything like that. It's by just me talking to you. But with me talking to you every 8 seconds, I need to hear a little chuckle, a little laughter every 8 seconds. my stories are based on my life experiences, and there's a lot of shit that's happened to me in my life. Even still now, there's a lot of shit that's happening, and because of my experiences, all I can see is your thumb at the moment, bro.
I'm just adjusting the phone.
And now you've gone. Okay,
All right,
okay.
hold on. Okay.
And Ben, what's happening, bruv? You're all right. And because of my life experiences, there's a lot for me to talk about. A hell of a lot for me to talk about. I mean, I could write whatever. I'm thinking about a book, writing a book on my life. That would be fun in itself. But that's where I base my comedy on real life experiences. That's why I have the ability to write or to come up with different scenarios which relates to other people, because my whole life, there's something in my life that's happened to someone else. And that's why I've gone into storytelling rather than doing one hit wonder jokes and things like that. So I
Yeah.
am a storyteller.
No, I love that style, and that's like Tony Wood style, Dave Chappelle
Yeah,
style. Like
yeah,
that's the style I always move towards. Sometimes my stories are so crazy, they're almost unbelievable. Like,
yeah, yeah,
you know, like I'll have a story. The FBI once visited me to ask me what I knew about Osama bin Laden. And
yeah.
like, if I tell that story, people just don't believe it.
Yeah, listen. Let me also tell people something about this guy. He's met so much rich, wealthy, hierarchy people. And when he tells the stories, you think he's joking, but he's being real. He has met these people. And it's like, really? But let him tell your story. Anyway, go on, talk, because you're one of the guys you look at and you think, is he a geek? Or is he just taking a piss? But he's met so much people, and like they don't know that you're a millionaire. You're a
Yeah, no,
millionaire, innit?
I've been around the block, and I've made money, lost money, made money 10 times
Yeah,
over. And so when the audience usually doesn't know who I am,
that's right.
and so my best stories that I write about in my books, even my audience knows who I am, so I can get away with writing about them. But if I'm
Yeah,
just talking to a bunch of tourists, what did he say? Osama bin Laden, Bernie
yeah,
Madoff, he was hanging out with Bill Clinton, who was hitting on his
yeah,
wife. They
yeah.
just don't believe me.
How you doing, girl? Have you managed to get hold of tea for me? Go on, Alta. Go on. Tell me, there's a story about, what was it? Some guy came visit your house. Not the chess guy. Was it the chess guy?
It
Was it
could be,
someone?
yeah. Yeah, like Gary Kasparov comes over all the time.
Listen to him. Listen to him. Yeah, Gary Kasparov. Like it's just an everyday thing. Gary Kasparov came round to my house. They don't even.
Okay, one time I had Gary Kasparov, the Jizza from the Wu-Tang Clan, and
There you
Jim
go.
Norton, and we all hung out and played chess.
Check this guy out. Although he couldn't beat my computer interest.
I could
Yeah,
be
remember
computers.
that?
Gary Kasparov can't beat the computer.
Can
Computers
he?
are
No.
hard.
Well, my computer was just a basic one, level 2, and we couldn't beat it. Remember, we were sitting in the
I
green
know.
room trying to beat the guy, and
I
we
know.
couldn't beat it.
I know. You have to
Unbelievable.
remind me of this, Peter. I'm very embarrassed. Now
All
you're
the
making a
time.
fool out of me. No,
You know why?
I'm just
No,
kidding.
the reason why I have to remind you of it is because when I was playing chess, you said to me, "Can I play chess?" And I said to you, "Well, yeah." And then you said, "Ah, you're very good at chess." I said, "Really?" And then you took my computer, and my computer fucked you up, bro. This is
Yeah,
simple as
no,
that.
your computer crushed me.
Yeah,
So I was thoroughly embarrassed, but I challenge your computer to a rematch
yeah, yeah,
when we see each other again.
yeah. You do that, man. It will still crush you again, bro. So, what's your plans, man? How's the? I was gonna say how's the missus, but she must be all right, isn't she? And the kids,
Yeah,
they cool?
Robin, are you around? Come over here, say hi to Peter. But
Hey,
what's your
man.
plans? Like, what do you think's gonna happen? You think when's England opening up?
England is slowly trying to open up as we speak, trying to get things back together. And I think I'm I'm worried about. Hey, what's happening, girl? You all right?
Good.
You
How are
good?
you?
I'm all right. I'm chilling, man. I'm
Good.
here. I'm in
That's
London.
good. Yeah,
Chilling.
we're here too. It's like, oh,
Yeah, I hear you. Everything good?
yeah, it's good.
Look, girl said she's looking forward to seeing you
She
through.
still tells the story about how Gail was basically gonna kill Roger if he didn't give us some money.
Did he pay you?
He paid
Did he
me.
pay
He
you
didn't
anything?
pay.
I don't think he
He
paid.
paid me, but it was like 3 days later, and some guy in a leather jacket and a helmet like threw it down on the sidewalk while he was speeding by
Really?
me. Yeah,
Oh man, damn son.
and so
So yeah,
I don't know where how if Tony got it or not. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, according to Tony, he hasn't got paid yet.
Yeah.
But that's something totally different, son. I was gonna say, who's raised Rassi? She's saying, hey, Robin. Hey, that's one of your one of your people. As I was saying,
One
London,
of Robin's people.
yeah. Hey, what's that name? London's gonna is opening up slowly. Because we got a prime minister who's trying to replicate your president. Guy, same crazy too. Um, but I don't think what I'm scared of is when it opens up again and you get that second wave. If people thinking they can do whatever they do and they get the second wave and then it will shut down and then we're back into captivity or quarantine again for a
I,
long period of time. And
I don't think it'll shut down again because England's well on its way to herd immunity. Do you know the longest quarantines, even during the bubonic plague, were 40 days? The word quarantine, the root is 40. This is a 40-day thing. And the incubation period for the bubonic plague was 37 days. So the quarantine would wipe out the bubonic plague in 40. We've been in quarantine for 70 days. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's been a long time, son. And there's some people that's really suffering out there mentally.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Really, and some sexually frustrated people. That's what I was telling you earlier on that when they release people, this is going to be crazy out there, son. There's going to be some diseases out there. I'm telling you.
Yeah, those are the viruses people should worry about, not coronavirus. There's going to be a second wave of herpes coming around.
Herpes and crabs. Remember crabs? Well, what do you mean remember crabs? Did I say that? But you remember them diseases there? Crabs.
Yeah. VD.
Oh man!
Syphilis.
So in 40 days, who says? Rest says in 40 days they'll close. Go
on. Chlamydia. We're gonna see a lot of these viruses.
You telling us about yourself or something? This is just what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm telling you the history of James and 7 sexually transmitted diseases.
Okay, what's going on here, mate? It's all part of a master plan. The dates are in the government plan. Gail is saying this at the moment, son. She's saying it's all part of the master. What's that? Shouldn't that alert you to the fact that it's not about virus already? What do you mean, Julia? What do you mean, Julia? Can you see these comments?
Yes. So I think she's saying that basically in America, I think the virus has become very politicized. So Democrats think one thing and Republicans think another thing, which is a shame that something as serious as a health crisis became a political issue.
I hear you, mate.
So like some states that have, one party of governors is opening up, other states are keeping closed because they're trying to position for the election. So who knows? I don't know. All I want to do is get back to comedy.
Yeah.
I like being indoors.
Do you?
I love it.
Oh, I'm kind of the opposite because I'm like a people's person. I like going out there and meeting people. It's from people meeting people that I get some of my stories as well. Yeah. And the attachment to what I see, to what their behavior, it always attaches itself to something that's happened to me. And hence I can write about it better because it becomes now a common denominator, if you see what I mean. Yeah.
I get it. Like I'm almost the opposite. Like it's my awkwardness and feelings of detachment from people that gives me the stories to write about. So I'll give you an example. I like playing chess or poker because you don't have to talk to anybody. So I was at a charity poker tournament. President Bill Clinton was there. And Robin.
See what you just said? See this guy?
I'm telling you a true story. And Robin starts talking to him, and he's Bill Clinton. Okay, he's leaning in while she's talking to him, and he talks very quietly. So she's leaning closer, and he's leaning in.
He's probably saying, "Look, when your husband's away, can you just go in the back room?"
Well, we had just started going out, so I was worried. So I was playing poker. I had 2 jacks. I should have stayed in there. I threw my hand into the pile, and I walked right over there. And Bill Clinton's like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" He talks very quiet. "Hey, how you doing?" And then later I was like, "What were you talking to him about?" And she said, "Oh, I was giving him ideas about Africa." And I'm like, He doesn't give a shit what you think about Africa. He was hitting on you. So that's a story. Now I gotta make that funny.
You gotta make it. Well, you can make it. You just have to say, "Yeah, wait to fuck you," and that's it done. It's story ended. That's completely
Yeah,
true,
that's right.
man.
But I didn't get the every 15 seconds. I'm like, maybe I
Oh,
didn't.
you still. No, going back to that, yeah. The 8 second thing that was a rule that I had, but then I decided that I don't need it because what
Yeah,
it is once you do comedy, once you're engaging the audience into your brain thoughts, they will go with you, and that's when you can take them anywhere you want to. Yeah,
yeah,
and the master of that, I tell you, the master who of that to me, the master was George Carlin, where he engaged you into a subject matter and then took you anywhere he wanted to. And
right.
then you laughed along the way. Now Dave Chappelle does that.
Dave Chappelle's great, and like let's say smaller comedians like Greer Barnes. He's very good
Great
with
Barnes.
that.
Yeah.
But Dave Chappelle's good. Chris Stefano, I don't know. He's a New York City comic. He's great at that. There's some good storytellers. I don't really like the one-liner style too much.
No, that's not me. I never liked it anyway. It just reminds me of pub jokes.
Yeah,
So
but yeah,
I don't.
it's like it's good writing, but it doesn't feel like you're really engaging with the audience. They don't know who you are.
Linston is saying that Americans are being used as pawns. Really?
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. I feel like a pawn most of the time.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
certainly not the queen.
well, yeah. Well, you talk about chess
She's the
again. Yeah.
queen.
There you go, man. She's the queen. I
The
don't know
king's
what's
like
going to happen.
the king's the
Oh,
least powerful person on the board.
no, yeah, it doesn't do anything, does it? And gets
Even
trapped and dies.
even a pawn can turn into a queen.
That's what. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look at this. American likes your story. I don't know who American. My phone's going off whilst I'm talking to you. So I mean, and it's just madness. I don't know what I got planned for next year. This year I was planning to do a tour in Germany. Where was I going? Germany, Holland, and Belgium. And I was planning to do a tour, and all that's got knocked on his head. And that's like, wow. So coronavirus has killed that for me.
Well, I know we can all head back to Rotterdam when this is all over. Comedy
Yeah.
Hog is wants us. So we're all going back.
Yeah, man, we got to go back there. Not for the same promoter though, bro. But we're gonna go back there. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? We're gonna go back there and have a laugh. It was a good laugh over there,
Yeah.
mate. I tell you that. What
Well,
else
Peter,
can we say?
I have to actually head out, but it was good updating with you. We got to do this again.
Yeah, man. Whenever you're ready, man. I'm still trying to wait for the guy himself to turn up. I don't know where he is. He said he was working today. I don't know where he is.
Reschedule. Do it tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm saying if he's not here, I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah.
And I
Nice
and
talking to you, bro. And
I'm gonna put together some of my stories, and I'm gonna call you and ask you what you think of them. So
you
be
do
ready.
that. You do that. Yeah, I'll be ready, man. I'll be fine, man. You do that. Yeah. We'll stay in touch.
All
All right.
right, excellent.
Take care of
All right,
yourself.
thanks so much, Peter.
All right.
Thanks to your
Yeah, man.
crowd,
Take care.
everybody.
All right.
Good to see you.
All right. So there you have it, man. I was talking to Altucher. Some of you don't know who he is. He's a millionaire, and he's a very good guy. He knows a lot of people, wealthy people. Right, I'm trying to get hold of Tony, but I can't get what do we call it? I'm on my phone and I can't call the dude. And like I say, he's probably sleeping, but I just don't know how to get hold of him because he sleeps a lot. And so what I might have to do is reschedule this for tomorrow or another time and have a laugh because there's a lot that Tony needs to talk about and wanted to talk about today, but he's not here to talk about it, which is a letdown for me, really. But what can I do? I had to come on live still and still talk to you guys. I'm really expecting him to be up. I bet are comedians quick to laugh or are they generally serious people? You know, comedians, right? I'll tell you what, we have a double life. We have the serious side of us and we have that funny side of us, but we see the funny in everything. And that's the one thing about comedians. No, I didn't know who he was. I know you didn't. We see the funny, Juliet, in everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. There's nothing that escapes us that we can't make a joke about. Some people like it, some people don't. But you see, hey, that's it. Yeah, I'm going to try again tomorrow. Well, I can't call Tony because that's what I'm saying. I'm using my phone. And I didn't want to use my phone because I wanted to call him. See you, peace, bro. Yeah, life is funny. Yeah. Let me know when you reschedule the thing. I'm going to reschedule it and try and get hold of him. I'm going to try and get hold of him tonight, to tell the truth, and try and do this tomorrow at a later time. There's a time difference because in the UK right now it's about 9:15 or something, and I know in America it's about 4 o'clock.
So there is a time difference for me. So I don't want to keep people awake too late to do this. But we will do it and we will get it done. There's a bunch of other comedians that I need to talk to anyway, and have a laugh, a proper laugh. Because when you hear some of the stories, man, you're going to be laughing. And I myself, I've got lots of stories to tell. And anyway, I've got lots of stories to tell with Tony, the things that we've done together, where the places that we've been, where we stayed. Damn, son, when you hear these stories, you will be laughing. Some of the people that we've met, some of the people that we didn't want to meet. Yeah, some of the things that we've done. That's nothing to do with no naughtiness. It's just the things, the places that we've been together is just amazing. I've known him for over 15 years, 16 years now. And we've done a lot of touring together and everything. Okay, break now. Call in tomorrow. So listen, I'm going to end this and I'm going to do it again properly, yeah, with Tony on board. And we're going to have a laugh. And I'll see you guys very soon. Take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful afternoon in America. Have a wonderful night in the UK. And we'll talk soon, very soon. All right? Watch out for the next one. Take care. Peace.